To learn about the off-grid lifestyle and to be inspired to live your dreams, click subscribe so you don't miss anything. Hit the bell notification. Okay, so I'm back at the well, and today I'm gonna try to get the well liner put in. I don't think I'll have any problems getting the well liner in, but I got big plans and little time. So I want to get the well liner in. I need to get the pump transferred from, well, the hose and the wiring transferred from the old pump to the new pump. So I got to splice the wiring. Then I got to take the pipe and put it onto the new pump. And I'm going to do that first because I'm going to use flex glue. When you wire the well pump, you want to make sure that no water gets into the wiring and shorts each other out, because you'll have a huge ground problem at that point and you won't be able to use the generator on it. So last year I used all the items that came with the well. You got these little brass tips, you got these rubber grommet seals that you heat up and they shrink around it. You got this waterproof tape, and then I went ahead and used, well, I guess it's flex glue is what I used. It takes about an hour before it gets tacky, you know, where it's dry to the touch. Flex glue also dries under water. Now, I know a lot of people said last year, oh, you don't know if that's hazardous, it's not been approved by the FDA and all that. I just don't see it being that big of a deal. Besides that, I still purify my water. Now, when you wire this up, it's not hard. You can't get it backwards. There's only one wire you get backwards, and it's tagged. That right there, the yellow wire, the yellow and green wire actually, is tagged. That's your ground, and these are your two hots. So this is a 110 volt, so you can just plug this right into your wall. So you put it black on black, I guess, and blue on white. It doesn't matter. It says in instructions you can reverse them, as long as that one goes on to the ground wire. So when you actually look at your wiring, there'll be a one that is not a color, it's just copper. Then I'm going to lower down the well packer while the flex glue is drying, along with the well liner, which is the PVC pipe here. Now see, I have two options that I want to try with my come along when I drag that into the well casing. Is I could hook it right here, put a PVC collar on here, and hook my come along right here to the top. But I'm going to try this too. This is just a U-bolt that goes around it here, and I put a 2x4. The reason I did this is in case for some reason it decides to drop on its own, it won't fall into the hole. This will catch it. So I'm just a little bit of precaution so I don't lose everything that I've done. I'll also use this when it's all finished. I'll just put this right at the bottom where the floor of the well is. And then I'm going to concrete around this pipe to keep the water from draining down in between the well casing and the well liner, and just to keep it clean, keep this thing from moving around too much. So I got big plans today. We'll see how much I get done. Okay, since this is a smaller pump, this is a 3-inch pump. I think the other one was a 4-inch pump. The fitting for the hose here, right here, was smaller. Now I had a 1-inch hose. The old one was 1 1/4 inch, but I had to downsize it to a 1-inch hose. So I had to get a new one of these. Now I got a neat little trick to show you how to get this onto the hose, because it's really tough to get this onto the black hose. So I'm gonna put some Teflon tape on it. Okay, so Teflon tape is just, it's not really tape. It looks like tape, but it's not sticky. It's just a white material, I guess Teflon. And you wrap it around the threads. And the reason you do this is so you'll get a better seal. Now you want to make sure that you wrap it in the opposite direction of the turn. Otherwise it just unwinds from itself. Now I'm not entirely sure you have to do this with plastic components, but I always do it anyways. Okay, so this is the clamp that the hardware store sold me the last time I did this. So it's not like the regular screw clamps that you see on your car. You have to use this tool. I guess they sell it to you this way, so you have to buy the tool. It's a one-use tool, and then you just squeeze it. So you put this on. Now the trick I'm going to show you to get this on, the hose onto the pump, or onto the piece. See, if I do it this way, you'll never get it on. So what you do is you heat up the hose just a little bit, don't melt it. And it slides right on. Works great. And then you just take your clamp, you slide the clamp down, and you got to squeeze it. So here's where I'm going to glue on the well packer onto the PVC pipe, and I'm going to start sliding it down the hole. So, moment of truth. Okay, so this is primer. You put this on both sides, and then you put glue on both sides, and you connect them together. So there's the connection. Going in perfectly. So this is going to go pretty smooth. The hardest part is I'm going to have to stretch out the come along. I got to hook that up to the back of the truck and pull it because there's two switches you got to hold at the same time. This is going to go good. Okay, so I got the piping into the ground. I don't know how much you can see here with all the, it's such a small space, it's hard to get a camera in here. So I'm going to leave this out of the ground like this. That way groundwater can't get into it. It'll be nice and high. I'm supposed to do it 3 feet. I think this like, I don't know, 3.5 feet. It doesn't matter. And so I'll lower the pump down into this. And then once I get the pump in, then I'm going to put a 90-degree elbow in here like this. And that way water can't get into it. I'll cap this off. I'll have to drill a hole so the pipe and the wire and the rope all can come out. Something I forgot to mention is when I started lowering this down, it went down real easy. I could push it down by hand. And that had me concerned because it's supposed to be tight. But after I got past about 10 feet, it was almost impossible to get it down. So the come along that I used, and then using this board that I screwed into 2 stumps, I showed you that in a previous video. It really was, you could hear the boards cracking and creaking. And so I was really happy that it tightened up. Okay, so the pump's in. Now, I've got a little bar here that's tied to the rope. So all the weight now is on the rope, hanging onto this. This is such a better design than what I had before with that board running across and rope to twist it up. Okay, moment of truth. We're gonna plug it in and see if we get it running. So far, so good. All right, well, we have water. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna flush it for a little bit because obviously all the junk that I knocked down into it. Okay, so I got it all put together. I had to pull the well out. I put it down, ran it one time. It was dirty water, which is kind of expected when you have a new well installed because you knock all that crud and crummy stuff off the sides of the walls of the well. And so it was pretty dirty. Then I waited 15 minutes to let it refill, and I tried to start it again and it wouldn't start. It just would not go. The generator just didn't have enough oomph to turn it. But the thing is that means it was pulling more amps than the pump was designed to pull because it was 9 amps. The generator can handle 9 amps just fine. So we pulled the pump again, and what I've determined is the generator just doesn't have enough oomph to get it to start when the water in the pipe, you know, it's got a full steam of water in the pipe. So what I did was I drilled a small hole in the pipe towards the bottom. I did that before up here so it won't freeze, just below the ground level there. That way the water can drain down and the pipe won't freeze. So I went ahead and did that, and it worked fine. Put the pump back down there. I've ran it twice, started right up. So when the pump didn't start up the second time, I thought, oh no, disaster. Because that would have been pretty serious. I would have had to order another pump. That would have taken however many days. And I just, and the thing is, if I'd ordered another pump, would have done any better. Instead, I drilled a hole in this. I would not have known to do that if I hadn't done this before. So having the experience of doing it before has really paid off. I learned a lot the last time. So I hope I can inspire you to learn a lot when you're living your dream. Thanks for watching.